At Sane Strength, gonna go work out with my buddy Tank Top Mike. Got just everything and anything you can think of in the back of this car. So you've got shoes and weight vests and backpacks, headbands, deodorant, underwear. The list goes on and on. You never know when a run's gonna break out, right? So you need to always be prepared. But we're gonna get after it today. Gonna do some chest and some shoulders. Good bro workout and try to get jacked. What better way to work the chest than to start out on some bench pressing? Sweet. I don't think I've ever used this one. It has these like things to adjust the things here. Start out a little bit of back stuff to get warmed up, get the shoulders warmed up. I've never used that machine before. That's amazing. Have you ever used this one before?
I like the Watson.
Yeah, that feels good.
I'm down. Try it.
Yeah, you might be a little tall for it. You might have to try to lower the seat and all that shit. Is your baseball league, is it over for now?
It's over.
So we talk a lot on our podcast about people participating in sports, especially participate in a sport that you did maybe like when you were younger. And Mike, 60 years old over here, he doesn't like hearing that, but he's 60 years old, and he recently got back into some local baseball league, right?
Yeah, it's the senior fast pitch. It's a lot of fun. I mean, it's definitely challenging. Some of these guys played actually pro ball, and
what's kind of the age range?
From 45. He played most of the guys from 45 all the way up to
60, 70.
There was one guy, not kidding, he's 65 years old, and he was pitching, and he was lights out. He could throw like nobody's business.
Yeah.
You see this old guy up there on the mound, and he was throwing heat.
Yeah.
And he threw a curveball, it was coming at me, and my dumb ass, I jump out of the way, and it breaks right over the plate. I was like, oh man, oh my God. It was so much fun. I mean,
That's cool. Yeah. I saw a clip the other day of they were showing, you know, Nolan Ryan played like 20-something seasons, and just like how tough he was, but he pitched to Bo Jackson, and Bo Jackson was an amazing baseball player. I don't think people realize, like, he was really, really high level, made the All-Star team a couple times, stuff like that. So he was going to make the Hall of Fame in football.
Yeah.
I don't think he would have been a Hall of Fame baseball player, but he'd been a very good one. But when he pitched to Bo Jackson hit it, and it hits Nolan Ryan in the face. Nolan Ryan's face is all bloody, and he's like wiping it off, and he throws a couple more pitches and retires a bunch of people. You know, makes them. So it's kind of cool. So far, I'm liking the way this machine feels a bit, because sometimes with lat movement, it's kind of hard to like really pull the shoulder down. Even when you do like a lat pull down, sometimes it feels like just your arms are moving, and it's hard to like articulate that shoulder down. But on this machine, it feels pretty good. Oh, I put that down too low. Little kid seat. A lot of give and take with back stuff. It's like you either get the lower portion where you can pull into you well and you miss the stretch, or vice versa. seems like. But this feels like I'm getting the stretch here. And as I come down to here, I feel like I can really pull it in and pull the shoulders down. I ruined it. I went a little too heavy. I forget the guy's name on YouTube. He's real big. Ryan, his last name's not coming to me, but he did a video the other day about a guy that makes equipment. This guy takes like old equipment.
Humiston.
How do you?
Humiston.
Humiston.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan Humiston. He talked about this little Asian guy. He's like, I went to this factory. I thought there'd be a couple people working. He's like, it's one dude working. That looked cool. All the machines were like tailored.
$3,000. He got that killer back piece made for him. I was watching the same video, and Ryan, the thing I like about Ryan, he incorporates a lot of humor, kind of like.
Oh, he's really funny.
Yeah, that's just awesome.
When he imitated how he talked, that was great. He's like, I know I shouldn't be doing that. But then they showed the way the guy talked, and it wasn't far off. He's like, yeah.
No, that's too funny. He's not worried about it.
You could tell he's not trying to be a dick to anybody. But yeah, Ryan Humiston had this great video where he basically just talked about this entrepreneur that I think he takes a lot of older equipment, and then he just sort of repurposes it. If you think about it, most of the machines in here, or you go to any gym in the world really, and you see people using the machines that they have in way different ways than what the original intention is for. And so I think this guy was like, oh, let me weld this way and let me do this way. And he makes stuff like interchangeable and customizes it. So instead of just having a back piece that maybe does one thing, it might be a back piece that you can sit different ways on it, because that's what people do when they come to the gym. They Charles Glass everything. You know, Charles Glass probably the most famous for that, where it's like you're not just like rowing this way. You know, he'll have you row like up and back, but he wants your body in a very particular position. So sometimes on the machines, he might look at a machine like this and have you turn that way, you know, and clearly you're supposed to be this way because the legs are there. So kind of cool that someone's making equipment that's really customizable and kind of dialing in the exact way to sort of flex and contract your muscles. Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't think we would get through anything. I was thinking about that. I was like, we would just be laughing the whole time.
Alex's podcast was huge. He commented on it. But you and Ryan, oh my God, I don't know if he'd be able to get through it. That would be too funny.
Yeah, I've been in touch with him a bunch, so we'll get him on at some point. Woo, that's feeling amazing. There you go, Mike. Now my spine doesn't feel all stiff.
I think that was the biggest challenge with baseball was all the bodybuilding, and then you get so stiff.
Yeah.
But man, I wound up going from 246 down to like 230.
Nice.
Just playing baseball.
Yeah. You know, even the extra activity, I'm sure you guys spend a little time like warming up and stuff.
Yeah.
And how hard would those warm-ups be for someone that's like really out of shape, you know? Be real difficult.
A lot of guys wound up getting hamstrings, Achilles, all these issues because in your brain you're thinking, oh, I'm fit, feel really good.
Yeah.
You're out there and swinging, everything feels great. But as soon as you start to explode, it's like
Yeah.
running down to first base, you're trying to beat the throw out.
I think you got to do, I think every time you run when you're a little older, like until you get used to it, you have to do a little diagnostic. You have to like move, like jog and see how that's going, make sure everything's okay, and then pick up your speed from there. It's hard to go, boom.
Staying hydrated.
Oh, yeah.
It's like not drinking enough, not stretching, and like you ramped up your running. I remember when you were just walking.
Yeah.
Then you ramped everything up. You didn't go from 0 to 100.
Mm-hmm.
And in baseball, guys come in, they go, oh, I played baseball my whole life.
Right.
I can pick up where I left off. And it's like, no, you can't. So
Yeah.
when you explode down to first base or try to stretch a single into a double, and you try to kick it into that gear, your hamstring goes, no. So here we go, we get a little fresh air coming in.
Oh, nice. Well, it's cool to make yourself big and thick, but then when you think about it more and you want to play a sport, you're like, I should look more like that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like he's in great shape. He has a lot of muscle.
Clark's in great shape.
He has a lot of muscle on him too, but
Yeah, he plays soccer. He plays the indoor soccer. And
but he looks explosive as fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He looked like he'd be very fast and powerful. I'll do one more set of this guy. Feels good. And grab a hold of a barbell over here. Look at all the bars they got at this place. Which one do you pick? It's hard to say, right? There's so many. Just keeps going. Oh, maybe I'll take that one, or that one, or this one, or that one. Or these. Oh, that's all they got? Couldn't find a good one. Like, look at this thing. What do you do, maybe curls with this guy? Oh, it actually feels pretty good. Maybe try a reverse curl. That's pretty challenging. It's actually super interesting. It feels a little bit like feels almost like a curl bar. Huh. Interesting. Women only bar. Oh, women only bar. Women's only bar. Only bar. Olympic lifting. Square bar, SpongeBob SquarePants bar. Oh, probably again for the grip. Oh, yep, that'll do it. I don't know if we need a whole bar dedicated to it, but maybe. Giant fat bar. That's fat. That's real fat. Oh, tsunami bar. These are nice. Sometimes a little bit of a pain in the neck to set those up, but those are nice. This one pretty tsunami-y. Huh. Oh, this one's more for squats because it's a little stronger than that one. Another tsunami bar. Those are kind of nice. They bend and they oscillate and they move around. Maybe Mike and I will do some of those. I don't know if he's ever done those before though. Ah, look at that. Bench bar. Oh, it says bench squat deadlift. I don't know about that. It's not great a lot of times to bench and deadlift with the same bar because a lot of times people are dropping the deadlift bar and then the bar can get bent, but this seems like it's fine. It sounds like a crybaby thing, but it really actually feels really weird to bench with a bar that's bent. It feels actually easier to squat with one or to deadlift with one. But yeah, this will do. Ooh. It's hard to make it to the bench because you keep seeing shiny new things. Wow, that has some deep knurl on it. Ooh, baby. There's no label on this one. How do we know what it's for? Holy shit, look how long this bar is. It's huge. It's for big time squats.
What's funny is every time I come in, people always ask, they ask about Mark. When's Mark coming in? When's Mark coming in? I go, I don't know. He texts me.
Yeah.
I go, when he does.
I throw up the bat signal.
Yeah, he throws the bat signal up. But Robbie's like, so many guys at the sheriff's office I worked with, huge fans of Mark and his podcast because he comes in, he's humble, and everyone says like, hey, he's approachable. He's not like standoffish, and they can get pickup tips here and there. But it's like, he's one of the strongest guys in this gym, and he's always he goes, when's Mark coming in? When's Mark coming in?
Yeah, that's kind of stuff like bench shirt. It's like if someone asked you like what to do in like a tactical situation, you'd be like, fuck yeah, I know exactly what to do, you know?
Yeah.
How to hold your gun or how to break down a door or whatever, you know. You know that stuff like the back of your hand, so if someone benches, it's pretty specific to me.
They all ask. I mean, it's funny.
Or if someone's like wearing like lifting equipment, then it's even more specific to me. Because I spent 10 years doing that.
I noticed you bring the bar down pretty low. It's like, I remember when I came up to SuperTraining, I'm benching out like this. So I always thought, for some reason, this is like the bodybuilder.
Yeah.
And then the power lifters bring it down here.
I don't think there's really like a wrong or right way necessarily, but when you start trying to like lift heavier, it seems like bringing the elbows in and stacking your joints gets to be more important. So it's like you want your elbows under your wrists, and and obviously it's not gonna look like that when you go real heavy, like it's kind of an exaggeration, but for chest activation, I mean, you do want the elbows kind of out, you know? And I tell people all the time, just train both, you know, do it both because both are good.
That's when I had Little Smokey gave me the
yeah.
the lowdown on how to get set up, because I just laid down, grabbed the bar, kind of what felt comfortable. Little Smokey goes, he goes, no. He goes, go past the bar.
Yeah.
He goes,
pull yourself in.
Load your legs up. He goes, and get the retractor shoulder blades back and down. And I for the life of me, it sounds easy, but when you try and grab the bar, so when I go to reach up to grab the bar, my shoulder blades come out from. Yeah. So
that's what happens. People want to shove. They want to shove the weight out of the rack, or sometimes people are trying to unrack it with strength.
Yeah.
Or sometimes they just lift by themselves, but you want to pull the weight out of the rack. You know, the pulling of the weight is like a pullover. So I'm just gonna like pull it. You would lift it a little bit, and then it would boom, whoop, and then it go right to me. Yeah. And then the handoff is like the lift off. I always tell people lift off should be. You go ahead and. Are those different weights?
Yeah.
Some of those weights are different, I think. Oh, you got that one up top. Oh, those are like weird discs, huh?
Yeah.
I'll put that on because I have one over here too. We'll just go with those weird ones.
Holy crap.
Is it a 55?
25 kilograms.
Wow, it feels like a fucking brick.
Doesn't it?
Oh, it's from Watson.
Did they make the kit shirt?
Yeah. Yeah, they make a bunch of stuff like that, yeah. So a lift off, everybody, when you lift off to somebody, it shouldn't look like this. It should be like this. You pick it up, and then I'm like, oh, he's got it, boom, like that. Nice and easy. You're not trying to shove it to the guy. And now, see how his arms had to do that?
Yeah, drop
You want
down.
it nice and smooth. Boom.
Yeah.
Nice and easy. That's how you lift the weight off for people. You know, one of the crazy things though is now, like, there's so many strong, amazing athletes in powerlifting right now. There's guys that they don't even use a spotter at all. So then now people will be like, well, why do you even know how to unrack it? Like, this other guy over here benches 500 easy for reps, unracks it himself. And you're like, good point. I guess that guy's more of a savage than me. But I never liked unracking it myself for safety. It just felt like shoulder-wise, it didn't feel as good. But I could also see the other side of it is like, if you unrack the weight yourself all the time, maybe you're building yourself up to be a little stronger and more resilient. Let's get a collar on there. You got one there? Let's see if we can find, oh, here we go. Playing the ballads now. Playing the slow stuff for me and Mike.
One of the funniest stories ever about the collar issue, we had a brand new gym put in at the sheriff's office, and we were loading it up, and we had 3 plates on each side, and this guy comes over, we were done, and he starts peeling the plates off without taking one off, and he peeled all 3 off the side, and then when he pulled the 3rd one off,
boom, bar
went flying, and it went into the drywall. And so then the brand new office, brand new gym, and now the barbell goes shooting into the drywall, and everyone's taking pictures of this.
You see the way like all this is painted like all black? Yeah. So my old gym was painted black like this, and then we had this beautiful Slingshot logo behind the platform. So I'm like, this is where everyone's gonna be it's a deadlift platform. And when we'd set up like shoots, video shoots, photo shoots, we would set up a bench sometimes on that same deadlift platform just to get get that logo in there all the time. This one guy came in one time, and it's like his first day in there or something, and he's using the deadlift jack.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then he goes to put the deadlift jack like to the side, but then it just goes, and it just barely chips the wall. But it chipped it pretty good, and everyone's like, this guy, you gotta get rid of this guy. This guy's off the team.
You're off the team.
Yeah, he was only there for like a minute. I can't even remember who it was at this point, but I remember it was like on video too, so we saw it like happen like in like slow-mo. But I wasn't there, and the problem was that guy didn't tell me, and that's the part that sucked.
Yeah.
I didn't really care about the wall, but I'm like, dude,
No, you're so low key.
something gets damaged or something. Someone's got to, and that happened all the time in the gym. Collars would be broken, or the sleeve of the bar would be broken. It's like,
Nobody says
I don't care who broke it or how they broke it. Even if you were fucking around, I don't care. But just tell me that something's broken so I can fix it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or replace it. Because that sucks when you go to use it. It's all jacked up or you can't find it.
How do you pick, like for your grip, you go, it looks like you go a little wider sometimes and then you come in. I mean, you just...
Yeah, I mix it up quite a bit. I like to go here a lot. If like in here feels pretty comfortable. Thumb away from the smooth part of the bar. But when I was lifting big boy weight, my hands would be out here a little more.
And you wrap your thumb.
Yeah, I wrap my thumb. This would be like, this shortens the range of motion the wider you go, but then it also might require, you know, some different strength. What I've actually seen, which is interesting in taller guys, and in quite a bit of women as well, is when you have a far way to press, a lot of people do better with a closer grip, believe it or not.
Wow.
That's kind of counterintuitive, right? You would think, oh, the taller you are, maybe the wider, so you can shorten that distance. But I've seen a lot of people do pretty well with the closer grip. This is a preference thing after a while and your body's mechanics. I think from like a power lifter standpoint, when you do some of these movements, you almost don't want to feel them. You want to like get them over with. From a bodybuilding standpoint, you really want to feel them, and you want to like try to use almost the least amount of weight as possible to get the stimulus, you know? Because why would you go heavier if you didn't have to?
Yeah, the thing that I don't understand now, there's so much talk about achieving failure between six to 8 reps. There's all that talk. I mean, the Dorian Yates, Mike Menser, less volume. They call it junk volume. But I come in, the Russian, the Russian high volume. I try to find that medium, warm up really, really well, and then like when training with you, pick that set where you go balls to the wall and you just kind of give it all you got, and then move on to something different. But it's just finding that happy medium. I think one of the things you say is there's no right and there's no wrong way.
Yeah, good to meet you.
Anyway, just for me, it's just get a really good warm up because I'm older. Make sure everything's fine. Like you said, do a checklist in your in your head.
Yeah, how's the shoulder? How's the tricep, elbow?
Yeah, and then start working your way up with weight that is going to be a challenge for you. That fight or flight. I think the fight or flight to me, when you get into the point where you're nervous and your nervous system's like the CNS has to fire, and you're a little bit worried and you get that, I think that's where the growth comes in. I mean, it's just over my experience.
Being a little scared on whether you're going to make it or not.
Whether you're going to make it or not, exactly.
I think even putting the weight on, I mean, you and I have done that. Like, there's some exercises that are perfect for that, and there's other exercises that aren't as good for that. Like if you're trying to be really strong, then it's good to do it on a squat. But in general, squat or deadlift isn't a great place to like roll the dice because you can get the risk to reward is high. But on like the Viking press, there's really not much risk. Maybe you'll tweak your back or something a little bit, but it's like just give that, put a lot of weight on that thing and give it a good shot. And what's going to happen? You just don't lift it. It's like not a big deal.
Exactly.
Magic Mike, here he goes.
Tank top Mike.
That's right.
I got the tank top in the back in the bag.
There you go. Your hands look even. There you go. If you could, see if you can push your heels towards the ground. Yep. I know it might make your back kind of feel fucked up, but there you go.
I haven't benched in forever.
I know.
It's such a trip.
One of the things that, just watch for, make sure you don't. I always think it's really important that people aim to try to drive their heel towards the ground. Your heel does not need to be flat to bench press. There's all different kinds of ways of benching. In fact, some people are really strong even with their feet up and stuff like that. But when I see people benching with their feet on the ground, I try to make sure that they're not just like this the whole time. This angle right here, in my opinion, closes you off and kind of makes you like kind of hang out in here. So I'll show you what I mean. You get back here, and if my back is tight, then my feet are gonna be like this and my calves are gonna be like flexed. It's gonna kind of shut some of this off. And I want my pelvis like rolled that way a bit because I want my chest up. We're trying to increase the range of motion, or sorry, decrease the range of motion and increase the stability. So decreasing the range of motion and increasing the stability happens right here when I go get my arms here, get my hands situated, and now I'm gonna pick my body up, tuck underneath, and then I'm gonna drive my heels towards the ground. As soon as I drive my heels towards the ground, it makes my butt cheeks flex, which drives my hips up a little bit. And then you want those knees to be like almost like down. And some people will even bench with their feet way underneath them. But even when your feet are way underneath you, I think you're better off, rather than being here and closed off, I think you're better off being there and more opened up. Sometimes it can kind of tweak your back a little bit, so you got to be kind of cautious on how much you arch. Each person's going to be a little different. My main advice would be to try to open up through here rather than like the lower back. The lower back, most likely, if you come back here, it's going to be like mine's so off the bench that my hands aren't even pinned underneath me, like they're free to move. So it depends on how big your butt is too, but so you don't really have to arch the lower back. Just try to pull up the chest, and you're trying to get more distance between wherever your belly button is and your sternum. So you're taking this guy here and you're going, rather than being like this on the bench with your toes up like that, you're trying to go boop, and make this like all long. And that way you can sit your shoulder back in the capsule correctly. The same thing like if I was to throw a pitch and I was trying to throw a pitch in here, it's like I can't really throw it very well. And if I did, I'd probably kind of hurt myself. My arm would be like too far forward. I need to open up more, right? Nice. And some people like to go with the suicide grip. Mike's been lifting for a long time. I trust that that's not going to be an issue, but I think for younger people, like maybe just learn how to keep your thumb on there, because I have seen people lose benches before and it just kind of sucks. You want to make sure that you have a good barbell though too. So before you even start your lifting, like just roll the bar around and make sure it's not bent, because the bar is bent and you have a suicide grip, the likelihood that it might roll out is going to be increased quite a bit. But people like to do that because it sort of takes some pressure off the wrist. Sometimes having that thumb in there just sometimes pushes it puts the weight into your fingers more. And what Mike is doing by bypassing and taking the thumb off is he's putting the weight right here. And you end up stacking the bones. It's like a fighting strategy, really. You boxers use it. They punch a bag or punch a wall. You start to stack those bones. If you hit something like this, you can hit it really hard. You can punch stuff really hard if your bones are stacked. If they're not stacked and you hit it awkwardly, then you're like, holy shit, I totally hurt something. But when they're stacked, you're okay. So the thumb off the bar sometimes just puts the bar more into your hands than into your fingers. And basically, I would just say, yeah, I would say that's an absolute. Just never have the bar in your fingers when you're bench pressing. Just never have the bar in your fingers. Have the bar in your hand. And if you have to put it in your hand with the suicide grip, then maybe that's the way for you. Let's knock this off of there. Let's go with a 25. We'll take our time.
Okay. Got to answer one of the age-old questions. Plates in or plate out?
I think always bigger plates are always, they're all in, except for like when you start to get to like the 2.5s.
Yeah?
The 2.5s I think go on backwards. Yeah.
Okay.
In a powerlifting meet, they put the last one at the end of the line backwards.
Okay.
They just always do it. I think it's so the judges can see.
They know.
It's a little easier. So like if you have colored plates, like they do in competition pretty often, even a quick glance, I could see like, oh, there's a yellow one, and it's facing out, and there's a green one facing out. Like the green shouldn't be facing out because the yellow is the last one at the end of the line or whatever, you know. So they could see it a little faster. But yeah, in the gym, you know, I was taught at a young age in Poughkeepsie at Mid-Hudson Bodybuilding that if I put the 5s or the 2.5s facing in, that it causes disaster and chaos. The guy like took the weight off and he was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, I don't know. And he's like, goes, the smaller weights always go on facing outward. And I was like, okay. And he goes, you watch. He goes, something bad's gonna happen. He goes, because you already did a set. He's like, you're already fucked up, you know? And me and my brother were driving home from the gym.
Thinking about that?
Well, we were driving home from the gym and a fire truck went flying past us. And there was a fire in like one of the buildings that was close by. And my brother's like, you started that fire, you asshole. All right. So because we're gonna work up in weight, I'm just gonna do like low reps, like 1 to 3. I've always liked doing this. It conserves energy for the other sets. It just feels good too. You just kind of do 1 rep and boom, you just explode with it.
Mark showed me I used to wrap my wrist wrap. I'd wrap it right around the wrist, and it felt really good wrapping it like this. He goes, what are you doing? I go, I'm wrapping my wrist. He goes, no. He goes, get it up across.
Like a boxer, wrap the fist a little
wrap
bit. Yeah,
that. He goes, get it thick right in there in the crease, rather than ride it all the way up like I used to. He's like, get it down in here, and get that shit nice and secure and tight. Because you're trying to protect your wrist. And as an older lifter, man, any little bit of advantage that I can get, I'll take it. I'll take whatever I can.
Who wants to be thinking about their pain when they're lifting? You know, you don't want to be. No. You don't want any blocks. You want to be able to just to lift. You want to feel good when you're lifting.
Yeah. Man, I love these too. These are 2 years old, and I still every day I use them. By the time I come in, every day I use them.
Hey, how's it going? One, 2, 3, up. Nice. Just a one banger.
Let's get that shake and bake. Comes off. Trying to find that right slot. My shoulders, my arms are so long.
Yeah.
It's like finding where.
Yeah.
Where's it gonna rest? Where it's gonna be good? Bring it down.
You know, here's something I think it's great for everyone to start to change the language that's in their head about what they can and can't do. Someone might think like, oh, powerlifting, like I'm too old to powerlift. Well, what is powerlifting? You know, powerlifting is bench, squat, deadlift. And powerlifting, if you're competing, is usually done with just like 1 rep, right? So maybe not everyone has to go to that extreme, but just about anybody can bench, squat, or deadlift. It just depends on how you do the movement. So, you know, when you start to look at exercises, a bench, squat, or deadlift, those are great movements. And you said you haven't benched in a little while. That's actually a good thing because it means that you've been working on some other stuff.
Yeah.
But I think you always kind of circle back around to things too. Like maybe it's been a while since you've done a squat, but then I do so many variations of a squat. It's been forever since I've done a barbell back squat, These are 55-pound plates, I believe, right?
Yeah, no
55.
joke.
So 225, but it's plus like 40. That's 265.
For the longest time, I used to use the excuse. My excuse was, well, because I'm so tall and I have long arms and I can't lift as much as someone who's shorter with short arms, the T-Rex lifter who can just move tons of weight. I would, in my head, it burned that in my brain, like, oh, you're too tall to lift that much weight. And then I'd watch Brian Shaw, who's 6'8", long ass arms. I'd watch Hathor, all these guys with long arms, longer than mine, taller, and they're moving crazy amounts of weight. So immediately that train of thought that you got long arms and you're not blessed with a barrel chest, that's all bullshit. It's like you should, in your head, think, well, fuck, Brian Shaw is 6'8", 400 pounds, and he's moving crazy amounts of weight. So to me, seeing that, it's no longer, like Mark says, no excuses. Just kind of do what, get in there and do your best, and don't condition your brain to thinking, oh, I can't do it. So it was nice. I was able to reset that and just do the best I can.
Just do it at your own level.
Do it at my own level.
And maybe you suck at it, but that's okay.
Yeah.
You can get better.
Get better.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Actually, it's actually kind of good, when you're not that good at something. Like I wasn't that good at running, then it's like, okay, well, I have so much. This is going to be great because there's going to be such a level of rapid improvement. It's going to be insane, right? All right, here we go. So I'll probably do another single here, and then from here I'll just sort of think about the weight that I'm going to use. Nice thin belt. This is nice.
What are some of the benefits of using the belt? Keeps your core, or is it for support? For me, psychologically, I know when I put that belt on, it triggers, okay, this is serious weight, get your focus going. I like snugging it up a little bit. And
I like some of that feeling. I mean, I think, having a particular uniform, like I'm sure when you were a police officer, just throwing on your police officer uniform made you feel a different way.
Everything had to be lined up a certain way.
You're putting on a bulletproof vest, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's game day, right?
Yeah.
Football, you throw on a helmet. Baseball, you got a certain uniform. It feels good in lifting to have like a certain uniform. It sort of gets your nervous system sort of fired up and excited. But a lifting belt on bench is because your back is in like this static position for however long you're going to be on the bench for. Whereas when you squat or you deadlift, your back's not really in a static position like that. And so I kind of like the support because I feel like I'm sort of arched through that area. And then having that support is also going to help me to use my stomach. So not a lot of people know that a lifting belt, it does help your back, but it helps your back via your stomach. It's something that sort of turns on your stomach. And you want it kind of snug, but you don't want it too tight, because it's too tight, then you can't really breathe into it well. Let's see, we'll go right there. There we go. So now, I could stick my thumbs in there, but I'm able to push my stomach out. So as I lay back on the bench and as I go to do my thing here, I'm gonna push out like on the sides a lot with like the obliques, and that'll just make everything else just feel more stable.
Nice and smooth. Yeah, no shake and bake.
Yeah,
no.
That bar is a little different to lift with. I gotta throw a little chalk on. It's a little slippery. Everything makes a difference, like when you get babied and get used to it, and you get used to like benching with certain equipment and everything. One of the things that, you know, one of the disadvantages sometimes to doing like a barbell movement, you know, Mike and we're kind of taking our time, but they take a while, you know, to properly warm up for them and properly get ready for them. Whereas if Mike and I if we started today's workout with a machine, which we did a little bit of warm up here, so we snuck in one machine, but we would probably be on our third exercise already, you know? So the machines, and even the dumbbells and some of that stuff, they have a nice advantage of, it doesn't take, you don't have to, you always want to warm up, but you don't have to warm up nearly as much, and you can get through your workout a lot faster, which isn't always the goal, but sometimes time is a factor.
I got a little bit of nervousness. I'm like, okay, I haven't done this in a long time, and that's not 225. So my brain's trying to calculate, can you do that?
Yeah, think about even you're playing baseball and you're, you know, you guys are messing around and you're hitting a couple, but then someone really pitches to you, then you, right? It's like, like, oh shit, here we go. Yeah, you gotta be a little scared.
A little bit.
Here you go, Mike. 1, 2, 3, up. Nice. That was great.
Oh shit.
What up?
God damn.
Oh, you're all good. That was nice. The only thing I saw is you just turned your head, so you want to try to keep your head.
Did I?
You turned your head this way, and then you kind of.
Yeah. You know what's funny is I didn't even realize
Yeah.
I did that.
There's a lot of stuff that happens, like when you're lifting heavy. It just gets to be awkward sometimes, you know.
I wonder why. I know as I get closer to my max and I start doing that, I will turn my head a little bit. I wonder if that's something that's anatomical with my body.
It could be. It also could just be like you're looking for the looking to rack it. You know, like it's common to like miss the rack sometimes, which can really hurt and suck. So this would put us
255, right? That's 250.
Yeah. This would put us at like 305, I think, if we threw that guy on there. If my math is correct. How much does that guy weigh right there? That's not a 2.5, that's a 5?
Yeah, this is a 2.5 kilograms.
Yeah, whatever the fuck that is, that's good.
Face it out, right?
Yep. See, now you got me nervous. I gotta go pee. Nervous pee. Kind of depressing, like I've been lifting for so long, you know, like I remember when I was a kid, I would like write down like the weight that I was lifting at the time, and then I would start thinking about like, and I was like 14, you know, so I'm like, when I'm 16, I'm gonna lift this, when I'm 18, I'm gonna lift that, and some of that actually happened. Like my lifts went up like exponentially just because I was super young and just getting used to everything. But I remember also thinking like, when I'm 25, I'm gonna lift like, you know, 1,200 pounds or something, you know. I thought like, you know, just go on forever, and it kind of did a little bit. But now, you know, this weight right here, I probably have been lifting this weight since I was like 16 or 17 years old.
Damn.
I mean, I remember, I think I was in, I don't know how old you are in 8th grade, but I think I was in 8th grade, and my teacher, Mr. Coughlin, he asked me like in front of the class, because he's like, there's a lot of talk about you lifting, you know, lifting big weights and stuff, and he goes, I think that's really cool. He's like, why don't you come up here and tell the class, like, you know, what you did or whatever, because I did a competition, and I was just like bright red, you know, like just so embarrassed.
Yeah,
and then I was like,
like,
you know, I did a competition, and then he was like, did you win? And I was like, yeah. And he goes, what else did you do? Because he already knew, he found out from like other teachers and my mom and shit like that. And like I broke a state record, I broke a national record. And he's like, well, how much did you lift? That's what everybody wants to know. And I did 365.
Holy shit.
And so
that's 13 or 14.
Yeah, and he's like, are you sure? Like, you got the right numbers? Because like, you know, grown men don't do that, you know?
No.
I was like, hey, I don't know what to tell you. That's what I did. He's like, I only benched 275. I was like, that's your problem.
The sheriff's office, our thing was, if you get 2 plates for a few reps, if you get 225 for a few reps, you are worthy. You're like, you're, you know, you don't want to be not being able to get 225 for one, and you're carrying a gun, a baton, taser, all this stuff. At least have that confidence of working your way up. 225 was like the threshold.
The bare minimum.
You got a bare minimum. You got to
That's
be able
great.
to
It's
get
just
2
have
plates.
that like welded to the bar.
Yeah.
And you walk in, they're like, get right there. Ronda Rousey came out to this song.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. It just gave me goosebumps. I remember this fucking cranking. She'd come out and she just killed everybody.
Yeah.
In the beginning, she killed everybody.
Yeah.
She put everybody in the same. Oh, yeah. Gotcha. He was like, oh, my friend wants to meet you, but it's that same guy.
That's too funny.
Yeah, I remember Ronda Rousey'd come out and she just had that look. And she beat that one girl in like 8 seconds, and then there was all those memes.
Just all the arm bar stuff that she would do. Her mom, the thing
her mom was
so
judo.
Cool, her mom is the one who trained her from a young age, just always. And then the mom's story was cool. She was at the point where she started noticing that Ronda could actually put her in the arm bar. Was just like the mom was so proud. She's like, oh my, this girl's special. So, and she had apraxia of speech. One thing people didn't realize is when she was young, she had this problem with talking. Her brain, for whatever reason, would mumble. And then her mom found a place in Colorado to take her to go over and work on her speech. And now it's like you couldn't even tell.
You're right.
But when I heard the mom talk about it, it struck a chord with me because my little guy has that. So it was pretty awesome hearing how far she's come.
It's pretty amazing how somebody's body and energy can go into one thing so hard, and then it causes like a little dysfunction somewhere else. Bo Jackson was the same way. He couldn't really speak much when he was young. Tyson, Tyson has a pretty bad lisp and stuff like that, right? Always go back to the old chalk bowl. Can't make too much of a mess. It's not my own place. All right, give me a little bit of a lift here, Mike.
Gotcha.
Oof.
You got this shit, Mark.
I'll just say up, okay?
Yep. You got it.
Up.
Beautiful, beautiful.
I wanted to go for one more, but that second one slowed down quite a bit.
Hey, what did Clint Eastwood say? A man's got to know his limitations.
Oh yeah, that's right. So what we'll do is we'll do like 1 to 2, or maybe 2 or 3 kind of heavier sets. So that was a heavier set, so maybe 1 or 2 more of those. What you're really looking for when you're doing this kind of stuff is just to get that right there, that second rep. That's what getting stronger looks like. It looks like that second rep. And you can get there with more reps. You can get there with sets of 6 and sets of 5 and sets of 8 and stuff like that. But you're better off getting there with the lower reps because it will really stimulate your nervous system a little better. This is where it's good to have a training partner, because I'm going to pick the weight from Mike.
Oh shit. Hey, I'm going slingshot. I'm going to put the slingshot on, so.
All right.
it'd be nice because then you could see, I struggled with this. So when I throw the slingshot on, that sense of confidence that it gives me, it's that little bit of, okay, I got the slingshot on. I know there's a little bit of leeway in there. That feeling of safety, that nervousness isn't as bad, but it's still, can't wait to see how it works out. Hey, it's such an awesome.
So great, all the stuff you got in your bag.
Yeah. The older you get, the bigger the bag, right?
Yeah, if you're a power lifter and you go to a powerlifting meet and you forgot, you know, chalk or baby powder or smelling salts, just go to the oldest guy in the room and he'll have a giant bag. The bag will be this big. It look like a hockey bag.
Yeah.
It'll look kind of like that bag right there.
My pre-workout.
And it'll have every single thing you can possibly imagine in it.
They're
like, oh, I have an extra belt. I have an extra pair of lifting shoes. Oh, what do you need? A size 11? Okay, cool.
What's the weirdest thing in your bag? Well, I have an extra pair of underwear in case I crap myself doing my training.
I always have extra underwear with me.
Yeah.
All the time. You
never
never know.
Why do you keep an extra pair of underwear? I go, because that one day I know.
Emergency.
Yeah, emergency. So, yeah, too funny.
Here we
All
go.
Right, let's give this a roll. Oh, yeah. Little Van Halen. Feeling nervous.
Here we go. Come on, Mike, here we go.
1,
2, 3. Yep. Kind of brought the weight down kind of high to begin with.
Towards my head. Pussy.
Just let's give it maybe a little bit here. If you bring it down in the right spot, I think.
It felt like it was going up.
Yeah.
It feels like it's going up, and then all of a sudden it started coming back. And as soon as it came back, I was like, "Oh shit!" That's why I don't train by myself like that.
Yeah. When you're coming out of the rack.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Are you gonna get a little? This is one of the I told you it's one of the strongest girls in the gym. So just some of your numbers.
I have 403 squat. My bench isn't great. It's like 176 and a 450 pull.
But the
Awesome.
the pull, pull is insane.
Thank you.
So awesome.
That's
awesome.
great.
So,
Good to meet you.
all right. See you.
Yeah,
Bye.
come to
Bye.
workout.
Yeah, let's give it another go. Just let me hand it off to you a little bit, like, because you're pushing like towards the rack in the beginning. So just kind of relax your arms a little bit more and just get ready to hold the weight. But I'll kind of dish it out to you a little bit more. So you need to push up a little bit, but not that much.
I feel like a puss. Some of these girls in here are so strong.
you'll get this. Here you go, Mike.
Let's go, motherfucker. Come on, get that fucking shit.
You want to go right about here, right?
1,
2, 3, up, out, release. Yep, towards your belly a little bit. Drive towards me. Oh.
God damn.
Oh, man.
Ain't nothing there. Nothing there. God damn.
The slingshot made you lift less weight today.
Fuck me.
That's good. Now we know we need to work. You need to work on working on that bench a little bit. I remember Taylor. He gets excited. He loves working on the bench. That's just 20 extra pounds and weight.
Yeah.
Well, it could be more though, because it's
it's not.
is it a weird, or is it just a regular 10? Yeah, it's 20 more pounds.
You're looking strong today.
Yeah, I'll do what I did, 25 and like a 5 or whatever.
Yeah. You gonna go third plate?
I can do that after this. Let me do another set with that
Okay.
last one.
Because you did a double, right?
Yep. And I had that weird kilo plate on there, whatever that makes it. So I'll have to get kind of out in front of this one a little bit better if I want to be able to sneak in an extra rep. But we'll just see.
Outstanding.
Whoa.
Triple.
Yeah, just lowering them a little faster usually helps me. Whew, so I get kind of almost like unloaded from the weight quicker.
What was the mindset, like your first set with this weight, you got 2 reps and then you chose to go, I don't want to do that third rep. But then now you kind of sized it up a little bit.
Yeah, like, my nervous system got activated, you know. So
that was enough.
I could have also just warmed up better. Like if I was trying like a 1 rep max, I would just warm up better. The weights that you do beforehand can make you way stronger.
Okay.
They can like stimulate you to get the next one. So have you go back down to that 2 plates again, and we'll go from there. Or let's give you 2 in this little guy.
Yeah.
That way it's at least a little more than what you did. Yeah, you have like your the way I look at it is that your whole body needs to be primed. It's almost like checks and balances, and your brain and your muscles, and it's almost like they get stamped like, okay, you're good for that. You know, it's like and I've actually heard like high level scientists talk in a similar way. Like we had a few doctors on the show talking about it in a similar way, and I was like, that's so weird, because that's the way that I talk about it. It's like it gets like cauterized, especially when you make the lift. You make the lift, that sends a message to your body like you're good with lifting that amount of weight. Like we can handle that amount of weight. Now the whole body in connection to the nervous system is like, we can produce that amount of force. Does everybody agree? Like the whole body has to agree. The brain has to agree. The muscles have to agree. And as meatheady as that sounds, that's sort of what happens. If you select the correct weights though for warm-ups, or even if you hold a heavy weight for a warm-up, you can elicit a different response in your body. Even as an example, Ben Johnson and other athletes have utilized like heavy lifting before they went to do something else. I don't know how true it is, because sometimes it can mess up your mechanics in somewhere else. But supposedly Ben Johnson would do like pretty heavy squats and then go sprint.
Holy shit.
But he wouldn't do like taxing squats. You know, he wouldn't do like 3 sets of 8. He would do like 1 set of like 2 or 1 set of 3 with kind of a heavy weight, partial range of motion, just to get the bones and the body like ready.
I wonder if that's a form of post-active potentiation. Mm-hmm. So like I studied a lot about that, learning how putting that body past its point of comfort.
There's some old workouts that were like that, where you do 1 rep, 6 reps, 1 rep, 6 reps.
Yeah.
As you progressed, you could use more and more weight on the 6 reps, because you're waking your nervous system up.
Baseball, we do that in baseball. I pitch, we would use a heavy, you warm up with a regular baseball, then you would these weighted baseballs, different colors, red, black. The heavier rounds, like 8-ounce baseball, and now you're throwing this 8-ounce baseball, you know, in your pitching, and then when you grab that regular baseball, that 4-ounce baseball, half the weight,
right,
and that ball is just flying out, because your body, it's that post-active potentiation. So I mean,
Some guys even take a heavier weight for throwing and they just bring it backwards.
yeah.
Rather than like they might take a shot put because a shot put.
Trevor Bauer does that. I mean,
You just take a heavy weight and you just pull it back.
Bringing
and
it back. That's springing. Yeah. I suck at
on there pretty
bench
good.
press, man. What is it? Do the things you suck at, right? You do all the things that that it makes you feel good, benching and things that you're good, and it's like, well, why not do the things you suck at and get better at it? It's the mindset. A lot of it's mindset.
You do a mix too. Like you do some things that you're good at, so you feel good, right? And then you do a couple things that you suck at,
beat yourself
so
up.
you know that you have a couple places to work.
All right.
So, the way I look at it is when you throw on a belt, you throw on elbow sleeves, you throw on a slingshot. If you think about like what you're in the gym for, you're in the gym for resistance training. One of the things that we need to get from resistance training is we need a certain intensity to happen. If that intensity or that volume doesn't really happen, we don't get the maybe optimal result that we're looking for. Maybe don't get the result as fast. Obviously, lifting anything will probably produce some sort of results, but maybe not significant enough to the results that you're looking for. So when we throw on wrist wraps, elbow sleeves, a slingshot, or we throw on all those things all at one time, we're allowing our body to handle a little bit more weight, but it's more weight in a safer fashion. And to me, it's just a no-brainer. Even something like, Dante Trudell does this quite a bit. He'll put on all kinds of stuff. He's got elbow sleeves and stuff, and he'll do like overhead presses on a machine. And he might just do like a heavy set of 6. But to me, that kind of stuff makes so much sense because you are trying to overload. You're trying to get the most out of the movement with the most amount of weight with the least amount of damage. Here we go. And bring that weight right down to like the middle of the slingshot. 1, 2, 3, yep. There we go. Nice. That's like a double power. You had to like you went and you moved it like 5 feet because your arm's so long.
The spot was perfect. Like honestly, there's no way I would try that again without a spotter.
Yeah.
And I know it's funny. You'll see some people say, "Don't touch it, don't touch it, don't touch the bar." I'm like, I'm the opposite. I'm like, I like having your hands there.
Yeah.
I don't want to get buried. It's like, recovering at age 60 is much different. When I was training in my 40s, I felt night and day difference. But now it's like they go, "What's the biggest difference?" And I'll tell you, it's the recovery. It's how my body feels when I wake up the next day. It's like, at 60, do I want to roll out of bed and go, oh shit, I can't even move?
Right.
No, I don't want that because I'm chasing around a little 15-year-old, and doing things at the house, and I want to be able to play baseball.
Chasing around a 15-year-old, he has kids.
Yeah, kids.
He got his own children.
Yeah.
He's not chasing around 15-year-olds in a park.
I'm glad you clarified that.
Or something.
Apparently, this is from Paul, so we'll see
All
if
right,
it works.
all right.
I have my slingshot. Here we go.
This is so
I don't
awesome.
know if it will work.
Awesome.
Yeah.
This slingshot's gotten a lot of usage. That's what I'm most proud of here. How much you bench?
Not anymore. I used to power lift back in the day, but now I do strongman with Paul.
Oh, cool. How's that going? You having fun with it?
Yes.
That's cool. Yeah, strongman stuff. I've decided that's way too hard.
I got injured more in powerlifting, surprisingly.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, so thank you.
You want me to sign that too?
Yeah, if you wanted to. I was going to give you my card.
Do you have a business card?
thank you.
Yeah, I will give it to you too.
Nice.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then
So if
where
you ever feel like
you located in the area
I'm
here?
in the area.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so.
Do you know John Mills? Do you know that gym?
Functional movement. Is it?
Shoot,
It's
I
on
forgot the name of it for a
Sebastopol
second.
I have his card too.
No, don't know.
This guy has a really cool gym. Maybe just 10 minutes from here.
Movement by design.
Yeah. So if I'm adding this up right, this is 785 pounds. It's gonna probably feel like 785 pounds.
What did Arnold say? You gotta really clank those plates.
Yeah, you clank them in there. It's interesting because like on a squat I didn't mind hearing some of that.
The little jiggle.
I don't like hearing that when I'm benching though. I hate that. Yeah, it's like that little wobble. Like, actually feels great too on a deadlift. If the weights kind of make those extra noises, it's kind of nice. Because then that means you got like the whip of the bar down pretty good.
I like the hex bar. The hex bar is my favorite. I know Chris is a big proponent on using that.
The hex bar is great.
Getting that hex bar in there. I love that.
Hex bar is awesome. Whoops. Keep just whacking myself in the butt. Start thinking about the next movement, next exercise, maybe some sort of incline chest or something.
Viking press.
Oh, we definitely need to do some shoulders. I think we should do at least one more chest movement.
Okay.
If not, maybe two more.
They have a seated cable machine I like. They have the one that you like is
the cable machine's nice. We can move to the Viking press next. That actually makes more sense. Viking press, and then we'll do the cable chest, and then we'll just finish off with some fluff. You guys have any plans for Thanksgiving?
No.
You do any traditional type thing, or?
Pretty much. It's my wife and my daughter. Emma's been getting into more and more into helping culinary stuff, and so she helps my wife out, and then me and the boys do the cleanup. So it's like they make all this killer stuff, different types of sweet potatoes, and then Dad and the boys have to do all the cleanup. So we're on dish detail afterwards. So, but we used to. Back when I lived in Windsor, the town of Windsor, all the guys would get together, and we'd be in our like 40s, early 50s, and we would play football.
Oh, nice.
Thanksgiving, like before dinner.
Turkey bowl.
We'd have a turkey bowl. We'd be out there playing knuckleheads, playing tackle football on the football field. You're like, no pads, nothing, just playing tackle football. I was like, oh my God. So, but.
Yeah, in my family, like when I still lived in New York and we all would meet up, we had a turkey bowl every year. It was a huge deal. Huge deal, and had trophies and shit. It was wild.
We didn't go that far.
Yeah,
but we definitely had everyone lining up. People would pick teams and say, okay, so-and-so, so-and-so. And afterwards you'd be a wreck, but you were like, okay, I get to go home and have turkey and mashed potatoes and gravy and all that stuff.
My brother Mike, who like, you know, he was like the biggest sore loser like in the history of the world, right? So his team won one year and they won a trophy, and then it was like written down on this piece of paper that was like stuck to the trophy.
Oh, that's
you know, what year it was and who was the MVP and stuff, right? So my brother's team won, and he thought it was so funny because he was really close with my grandfather, and so he gave my grandfather a loser's trophy that he drew and carved like on this like wooden like little plank thing.
No.
It was like a chunk of wood, right? And then he made like a back to it so that it would stand.
Yeah.
So you could just like put it on a desk or something. And it said, "You lost, you turkey," and it had a turkey with an arrow through its head.
Oh,
and then he signed his name on it. And so he was so happy, and he gave it to my grandpa. And then the next year, his team lost.
Oh.
And my grandfather stood up in front of everybody and gave it to him. And he was so upset. Like it didn't go, like my grandfather was thinking like, oh, I'll just like, I'll tease him. But he was like very like, I think he was like, you know, 12 or something. I think my grandfather was thinking that he would like,
Get a kick out of it.
he was thinking that he would think it's funny, but he would also like be kind of embarrassed, and he thought that would be like it. But my brother was like really sad about it, you know. It was great. It was kind of great. So he was the best person. They like.
Grandpa didn't go near any stairs while Mike was around.
Yeah, exactly. Threw on the slingshot, trying to get a little bit of an overload here, handle a little bit more weight. See how she goes. Slingshot, supportive upper body device, bench press, push-ups, dips. As you bring the weight back behind the midline of your body, or as your elbow rather travels past or beyond the midline of your body, the slingshot gives you more support. As you go to push through the movement, it lets off a little bit, and you still have to push the weight all the way through to the top. So here we go.
Come on, Mark. Come on, Mark.
Up. I got it.
I know, I'm not.
Woo!
What did we talk about? About saying that I got it?
As soon as, well,
he goes, I got it. I'm like, keep your hands on the bar.
it's so funny because once it became like all me, it was like, oh shit, I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to get through it. But that's, I think that is 3, so normally it'd be 315.
So
But it's,
55,
but plus
110,
60.
165.
So it's 375, I believe.
375, yeah. Fuck.
It'd be nice to actually to start, you know, working in the bench a little bit more again. And I was thinking about it the other day. It'd be nice to do 365, 405-ish, even without the slingshot. 405 with the slingshot would be a good goal for now.
How often do you think?
I got a bench every week or so. But I've only been benching for the last maybe 2-3 weeks, so it's only been a little bit, but pretty lean. Holding the fort down to like 216, 217 today, and then going down to around 200 pounds.
Hey, people talk about your legs. They don't fucking realize how big his fucking legs are. Like,
Yeah.
they go, oh, Mark's leg. I go, shut up. I go, I train with him. His thighs are thick as all hell.
Calves,
You got
beep,
hammies.
hammies. Yeah, all this stuff is getting more crazy from some of the sprints and stuff. So it's hard to sort of manage and juggle everything all at one time. But it's fun. Fun and challenging. I really like it. So like as I progress and as I start to do more work like that, what I'd probably do is like maybe every other week or so, when I get done with the heavier sets, I'll probably do a little bit of back off work, bring the weight down, maybe get in like 2 or 3 sets of 6 with a challenging weight too, because that for me is always felt like where I get my strength from. And that was really hard for me to do with deadlifting, but it's the only time my deadlift was ever strong. It was like, it felt like it was impossible to deadlift after deadlifting quite a bit in a workout, you know? Or the other thing that was interesting was I could squat and then deadlift, but I couldn't deadlift and then squat. Like literally couldn't squat hardly anything if I deadlifted first. It made my body too stiff. I would go to squat and I'd be like, and I would try to warm up. I'd take my time. I'd do some stretches and moving around, and I would only squat to like there. My body like wouldn't allow it to happen. It was weird. I was like, man, I just feel way too tight.
I gotta start incorporating duck eggs into my diet. So.
Oh yeah, and the frog. This is the Viking press. This gym's just awesome because it has so many different things. I mean, you can go into a rack or something and you can figure out how to do some overhead work, right? But this is just nice. It's just set up. You can set the height up whatever way you want. And I like to do these like this. I like to get back here and come underneath, press, relax. You know, as we go up in weight, that might be a strategy I might need to use, because as the weight gets heavier, it's kind of harder to just stay there and pump out reps. Feels good. There you go, Mike. Nice. Nice, good. Good push, good push. I got a blister on this foot. Let's see if I can show you maybe this way. Whoop. Annoying, like it, whatever way it looks, it kind of hurts a lot worse. There's like a little red part like right here that kind of hurts a lot. It hurt a lot last night, but it's because I didn't pop it. But I always try to wait, because if it naturally just pops, it's just like over with kind of quick. Like pain goes away. And so I had one the other day that I felt when I got done with a run and I started walking back. I actually started limping a little bit, and then all of a sudden the pain went away. I was like, oh, it must have popped. Kind of gross, but it's like the coolest feeling in the world.
You see David Goggins gets those.
Oh yeah.
And his legs just get so trashed from all the miles he puts on.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And that guy just, like, nothing affects him.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of stuff you can do in the moment, but like when the moment's over, that's when you're fucked.
Yeah.
So like when you're doing something, if you're running and you know, I mean, something wears away or you get like a little injury during something, you'll be like, oh, it's so weird because it hurts so bad now. Like, I don't even understand why it hurts so bad now. It didn't hurt that bad when it happened, right? That's usually what happens. And blisters and stuff like that are the same way.
Do you soak in the hot tub, or you do any like?
I didn't. It just, you know, it's sort of
salt.
It's newish, so I just poked at it with a needle this morning and just sucked out like stuff out of there.
Been here a while. Yeah. How's your training going? Look,
That felt good.
There I go again, looking down.
Yeah.
Felt good. I love the way this machine feels. It's like,
Yeah, this is a nice machine. heavy today. Everything's a little heavy, feels good. Here you go, Mike.
Listen to the song.
Breaking the law. There you go.
Ooh, felt good.
Good set.
Thank you.
Sometimes you don't have to do anything fancy, just go back and forth a little bit. That'll increase the intensity of this without having to add any more weight. Just not having a complete rest.
I used to judge my workout based on the pump, like how pumped you get.
You don't really always need it, yeah.
No, Arnold was the one,
Yeah.
because you see, and you go, oh, he talked about the pump, getting pump, and then like training with you was a little bit different. It was like, okay, you have to have a balance of the strength and the pump. You know what I mean? Working into that.
I spent over 20 years not ever really getting a pump.
Yeah.
Hardly at all, you know?
Do you think is it?
Now I don't have that size. I don't have that next, like I have size, I got muscle,
Right.
but I don't have that next level muscle that a bodybuilder might have, you know?
Like was it Matt? What was that?
Oh yeah, Matt, yeah.
The rapper?
Talk shit, you get hit, yeah.
Jesus, that guy was big.
That's a whole thing though. That's like the drugs, the nutrition. That's like dialing everything
dialed
in. He's trained with Charles and stuff before too. Here we go.
You got him all worked up with
That was amazing.
Mike Van Wyck and Jeff Nippert. You had him worked up. Oh
He
my
was
God.
really worked up. It was great. There you go, Mike. So sometimes it's good, like just do, so people are like, oh, the dumbbells, you know, I wish they were heavier, or I need the 120s. It's like, do you really need the 120s if you do 4 sets of 10 with 60 to 70 or 60 to 90 seconds rest? It's like you probably do really well with the 80s. You know, 4 sets of 10 with 80-pound dumbbells, it's probably going to be pretty challenging for not everybody, but for most people, it's going to be brutal.
The risk versus reward, like you talked about.
Yeah.
It's like you want to take that chance on getting injured and then being out 4 to 8 weeks, or do you go a little bit lighter and push?
Yep. Go without the shirt here.
Oh yeah.
All right, here we go.
Come on, Mark. That's squeezing every little drop. That's squeezing every drop out. Look at that.
It's coming along pretty good. Be interesting to see. I'm gonna get down. I want to go go down to 198 pounds just for a split second on the scale. Why 198? Well, that's the number for, you know, powerlifting meet. That's the weight class. So we'll just dip down there for a second. Not going to compete, but just want to do it kind of for fun. And then hang out at like 205, 210 for a while. See how my running performance goes from there.
It's such a good exercise for him.
Woo! That burns. Feels good. Whew. Yeah, Benny is so great to talk to because he's like, he'll tell you what he's running. He's like, I'm gonna sprinkle in a little bit of Winstrol and watch out, you know. He gets all excited.
Yeah, yeah.
You're gonna sprinkle it in. There you go, Mike. With this leverage here, you don't have to squeeze the bar as much. You're not getting as much forearm and kind of wrist. Sometimes when you're doing lateral raises, oddly enough, your grip starts to fatigue a bit, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, it's a good thing actually to kind of work your grip, but it's also nice just to get that direct shoulder work like that. So we put the fat handle there and then we get to it that way. And then I gotta figure out, oh, this goes that way.
The lighting is good too. Look at that, just all the separation, striations.
You mess around with any nasal breathing stuff?
I tried the hostage tape. Mm-hmm. The one thing that I incorporated was, it's called grenade gum. I think you try it and it opens up your nasal, and then I put the hostage tape on.
Yeah, the grenade gum was good.
Yeah, so the grenade gum opens it up, lets me breathe a little bit better, and so then when I put the hostage tape on, I don't feel like I can't catch up, you know. So
what about for training? You mess around with like trying to just mainly use your nose for warm-ups or anything like that, or for walking?
Just not trying to be a mouth breather. I mean, keeping the mouth closed as much as possible. And I noticed bench pressing, I tend to hold my breath more, but doing other exercise, I breathe a little bit. I used to carry the pulse ox with me just to kind of see where my O2 levels were and heart rate and all that, and just to, okay, if I change my breathing a little bit. But I think the more intense the exercise, I tend to want that core stabilized, so I hold my breath. Stuff like this, I just breathe normal, but mouth closed.
Try it on this set. Just try to like mainly just, even when you get a little oomph and you get a little, I think it's really critical to make huge advancements in your cardiovascular training. I think it will level you up a ton. Not that you're going to nasal breathe on everything. You're going to nasal breathe like when we're going heavy on that Viking press. It's like just breathe whatever way you need to breathe. Doing sprints, maybe breathe whatever way you need to breathe. But for other things, and then over time, what happens is you could start to nasal breathe doing everything. It's pretty wild, because I can nasal breathe now doing sprints, but I'll still need a good amount of rest in between the set, you know what I mean?
I'll give it a shot.
Some things I've learned about breathing, one of the big ones is at the end of your breath is the end of your range of motion. So if I go to reach up to like grab something and this range of motion starts to hurt, what happens is, and you hold your breath and you try to brace from here, and then you can continue with whatever it was you're doing. Or you go to bend down in the morning to pick something up and the back's tight, and you go, and you find you're holding your breath, really holding on to something. But when that happens, if you start getting conscious of it and you think a little bit and you get to this kind of stuck position, from here you just go, and you should be able to go lower and lower and lower and bend a little easier. How'd that feel?
I'm different. I noticed about the 8th rep, I took in a little bit of a mouth, mouth breath.
Yeah.
So it was breathing, and then all of a sudden a little bit of mouth breath. It was like, okay, close it up.
Here's the idea behind it, and you guys watching can look into it even more. But the idea behind it is you have plenty of oxygen already in your body, already in your muscle tissues, and you're unlocking and harnessing power that you don't even know that you have, because you can do it with a lot less effort than you think you can. So to me, that reminds me a little bit of like when you first start jogging. You start jogging around the block, your heart rate might shoot to 170. But as you get used to it, then your heart rate's 160, then your heart rate's 150. And there's people that could easily run at a pretty good pace. So there's people that can run like 6 or 7 minute mile pace and have their heart rate be like 120, 130. So that's obscene, right? That's crazy, but that's an adaptation. So if you start adapting to this, again, do your own research, look it up, check out James Nestor, check out some of the popular people that have information on this. It seems crazy and it seems wacko, but it is amazing what it can do for you. I need this guy on my forearm, that guy goes there. Oh, whoops.
Which
that
way
guy goes there.
What arm are you doing?
Oh, doing left.